Facing a rent increase in Dubai? Know your rights. Brief about rent increase and RERA. In Dubai, the rental increase is determined by following the rental index approved by the Real Estate Regulatory Agency, RERA Article 3. The changes are subject to the provisions of Decree No. 43 of 2013, determining the rent increase for real property in the Emirates of Dubai. The Rental Index. The rental index is as determined by RERA, which reserves the exclusive right to specify the average rent and accordingly the percentage of rent increase in Dubai. Under the decree, the maximum increase permitted for the rental increase is that of 20% against the rent index. For a rental increase of 20% to be applied legally by the landlord, the said property should be more than 40% below the average rent amount, as determined by the RERA index. Percentage of increase. According to Article 1 of the said decree, when renewing real estate property lease contracts, the maximum percentage of rent increase for real property in the Emirate of Dubai will be as follows. A. No rent increase if the rent of the real property unit is up to 10%. B. Less than the average rental value of similar units. C. 5% increase of the rent of the real property unit if the rent is 11% to 20% less than the average rental value of similar units. D. 10% increase of the rent of the real property unit if the rent is 21% to 30% less than the average rental value of similar units. E. 15% increase of the rent of the real property unit if the rent is 31% to 40% less than the average rental value of similar units. Or F. 20% increase of the rent of the real property unit if the rent is more than 40% less than the average rental value of similar units. How are rental increases implemented? In case of a rental increase, the landlord must follow the following. The landlord is required to provide the tenant with a 90 days notice before the expiry of the tenancy, notifying of the rental increase. The landlord is not allowed to raise the rent if this mandatory notice period has not been given to the tenant. In addition, the rental increase should also be justifiable, subject to the applicable percentage of the increase as stated in this video. Important: when the landlord does not follow these provisions, the tenant is allowed to reject the rental increase. Further, the tenant should file a complaint before the Rental Dispute Settlement Center, RDSC, if an amicable resolution is not possible.
For more of our latest updates, like and subscribe to this channel.